It's 2 in the morning. You did nothing wrong today, nobody yelled at you, nothing bad happened. But your chest is tight anyway, your mind is replaying a conversation from 3 years ago. You don't know why, you just know you can't sleep. Here's the truth nobody tells you, that's not random. Somewhere in your brain, right now, a signal is broadcasting. It's been broadcasting all day, you just couldn't hear it over the noise of your life. Until now, in the silence, when nothing else is loud enough to drown it out. We call it brain Wi-Fi. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why it turns on. Why it always seems to pick the worst moments, and, more importantly, how to finally turn down the volume for good. Stay with me, because once you see this, you can't unsee it. Think about your phone for a second. Even when you're not touching it, it's working. Pinging cell towers, syncing apps in the background, running processes you forgot you even installed. Your brain does the exact same thing. Underneath the version of you that shows up to work, that smiles in meetings, that says, "I'm fine," there's a background process running. Always on, scanning for threats, reading the room, keeping score of every time you swallowed your anger, every time you said yes when you meant no. That's your brain Wi-Fi. And for a lot of you watching this, the perfectionists, the people pleasers, the ones everyone calls so easygoing, that signal has been running non-stop for years. You just learned to tune it out, or you thought you did. So, where does this signal actually come from? Let's break it down. The psychologist Carl Jung had a name for the part of you that sends it. He called it the shadow. Here's the simple version. The shadow is everything about you that you decided, a long time ago, was unacceptable. The anger you weren't allowed to show as a kid. The jealousy you feel but never say out loud. The need to be seen, to be praised, to matter. A need you buried because wanting things felt selfish. None of that disappears, it just goes underground. And underground it doesn't stay quiet, it broadcasts. That's the part most people miss. You think you dealt with it, you think, "I got over that years ago." But burying a feeling isn't the same as processing it. You didn't get rid of the signal, you just hid the source. Your shadow doesn't go silent when you push it down. It goes underground and it gets louder. Let's make this real. Picture the perfectionist. She checks the email 4 times before sending it. She rewrites the message so it sounds calm, so it sounds fine, so nobody could ever accuse her of anything. From the outside, she looks completely in control. But underneath, her brain Wi-Fi is screaming. Why? Because somewhere along the way she learned that mistakes weren't safe. Maybe it was a parent who only ever mentioned the one B on a report card full of A's. Maybe it was a teacher who embarrassed her in front of the whole class. Either way, the lesson landed hard. If I'm not perfect, I'm not safe. She didn't choose that rule. A younger, smaller version of her chose it, to survive something. And that younger self never got the memo that the danger passed a long time ago. So now, 30 years later, her body still runs the old code. Her heart races over a single typo. Dread builds before a meeting that has nothing to do with her performance. That's not just anxiety. That's the shadow, broadcasting an old survival signal into a present that doesn't need it anymore. Or take the people pleaser. You might know the type, you might be the type. Always available, always agreeable. Always the first one to say, "No worries," even when underneath there are plenty of worries. Here's what's actually happening beneath the surface. A quiet, constant transmission of anger. Real anger. Anger at being taken for granted. Anger at never once being asked what they want. But somewhere along the way, that anger got labeled dangerous. Maybe it got someone punished. Maybe it got them called dramatic or too much. So the anger went into the shadow. And the shadow started broadcasting it sideways. as exhaustion that doesn't match the day, as resentment that leaks out in a sharp comment they immediately apologize for, as that heavy, unexplainable dread every Sunday night. You're not just sensitive. You're picking up a signal you were never allowed to hear directly. Let's pause for a second because this matters. So far, you've learned two things. 1. Your shadow is made of every emotion you were taught to hide. 2. Hiding an emotion doesn't erase it. It just sends it underground, where it keeps broadcasting, whether you're listening or not. Now, let's talk about why this feels so physical. Because this isn't just a metaphor. This is happening in your body right now, whether you believe it or not. You might be thinking, okay, this sounds poetic, but is it real? Yes, and here's the simple version. Your nervous system has one job: keep you alive. Part of it, a long nerve called the vagus nerve, is constantly scanning your environment. Faces, tones of voice, tiny shifts in a room. It does this without asking your permission. It does this faster than conscious thought ever could. When you were young, if certain feelings weren't safe, anger, need, jealousy, sadness, your nervous system learned a rule. Suppress this, or you'll lose connection. You'll lose love. You'll lose safety. That rule doesn't switch off just because you grew up. Your body kept the old setting. So today, when something even slightly brushes that old wound, a short email, a friend who goes quiet, a boss who seems annoyed, your nervous system doesn't calmly assess the situation. It reacts like the old danger is back. Heart rate spikes. Stomach drops. Mind starts spiraling. That's not weakness. That's brain Wi-Fi, running an old program at full volume in a body that never got the update. There's a third one worth naming, because almost nobody talks about it. Envy. You see a friend post about their new job, their new relationship, their new life, and for 1/2 of 1 second something ugly flashes through you. Not happiness. Something closer to, why not me? And then, almost instantly, shame slams the door on it. I'm a bad person for feeling that. So you smile. You type, so happy for you. You bury it in under 3 seconds flat. But envy is just information. It's your shadow pointing quietly at something you actually want for yourself. Something you've been too afraid to reach for. Bury the envy and you don't get rid of the want. You just lose the map to it. Here's the part that stings a little. If you keep ignoring this signal, if you keep pretending it isn't there, it doesn't fade out, it gets stronger. And eventually, it starts running your life from the dark without your permission. Ever self-sabotage right when things finally start going well? That's the shadow. Ever explode over something small? Dishes in the sink, a slightly short text. Way more than the moment actually deserved. That's not about the dishes. That's weeks of static finally breaking through. Ever feel a strange relief when a good thing falls apart, like some part of you almost expected it? That's the shadow too, still running the old rule. Good things aren't safe. Don't get used to this. Every one of these moments is brain Wi-Fi trying to tell you something. The problem was never that the signal exists. The problem is that nobody ever taught you how to receive it on purpose. So instead, it hijacks you. So, what do you actually do about it? Here's the shift. You don't need to silence the signal. You've been trying that for years, and be honest, has it worked? What you need to do is learn to read it. Psychologists call this integration. It sounds complicated. It isn't. Integration simply means this. Instead of treating the anxious feeling like an enemy to defeat, you get curious about it. You stop asking, how do I make this go away? And start asking, what is this actually about? Not the surface trigger, not the typo, the text, the sink full of dishes. The real signal underneath the static. Here's a simple way to start tonight. Next time that tight chest, can't sleep feeling shows up, Don't reach for your phone to drown it out. Instead, ask yourself 3 questions. Just 3. 1. What am I actually feeling right now underneath the anxiety, not stressed? Get specific. Angry, ashamed, afraid of being left behind? 2. When is the first time I remember feeling exactly this way? Don't force it, just wait. You might be surprised how far back the memory goes. 3. What did I need back then that I didn't get? You don't have to solve anything in that moment. You don't need a 5-step plan, you just have to listen, fully, without flinching away. That's the entire shift. From being controlled by the signal to finally answering the call. Do this once, and nothing changes. Do this every time the signal shows up, and something remarkable happens. The shadow gets quieter. Not because you buried it again, because for the first time it's actually being heard. Here's the thing about your shadow that almost nobody tells you. It was never your enemy. Every part of it, the anger, the envy, the need to be perfect, the exhausting drive to please everyone in the room. Every single one of those parts was trying to protect you. They kept a smaller, more powerless version of you safe. They just never got the update that you're not small anymore. You're not powerless anymore. You can survive things now that you couldn't survive then. Your brain Wi-Fi isn't broken, it's loyal. It's still trying to keep you safe, using information that's decades out of date. Your job was never to shut it down. Your job is to update it. So tonight, when you can't sleep and your chest is tight for no reason, remember this: there is no such thing as anxiety for no reason. There is only a signal you haven't learned to read yet. You are not broken, you are not too sensitive, and you are not too much. You are someone who learned a long time ago that the safest thing to do was go quiet. And that quiet has had a voice this whole time. It's been trying to reach you for years. Maybe tonight you finally answer. If this helped you understand what's actually running underneath your anxiety, subscribe to this channel. Because next time, we're going even deeper into the exact moment your shadow was born and the process for integrating it for good. Until then, stop fighting the signal. Start listening to it.